Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for a special program when we look at lifestyle and culture with Sir Alex. Today, as you are aware, we're going to have special guests when we talk about the culture and tradition of a place. When we talk about Nigeria in Edo State. For those who doesn't know this community, you must do your research. We're not going to elaborate on it when we talk about the British invasion 1897. So that will give you more picture about the resilience, the qualitative community when it comes to education, jobs, infrastructure, and development that they have when we are talking about the global community development today. So now I'm going to bring in one of my guests so that we can start the conversation. We only have 60 minutes for this special show every Sundays. If you can always join us, if you want us to feature you on this show, always join our community. Then we'll be able to bring in the champion, the leader that you are in the community. My name remains Sir Alex. So I'm going to bring in one of my guests now. Hello, sir. Oh, something happened. Might come back again. So I think we had Sir Anderson and Michael Anderson that just came in. So he's going to come back again. So now, today, we're going to talk about programs, education. When we talk about the educational value in our community in regard to culture, value, community leadership, political power that we are holding. Do we really need our language, or do we need English language in order for us to succeed in the community? So I'm going to be questioning this champion. I think he's back again. Let me bring it in. Hello, sir. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I think I must have put you back off.
Thank you very much. I don't know, probably my own side here, but I'm back now.
Okay. Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Viewers, let me welcome Sir Odel Adamson. I think he's the president of BARCO community when we talk about Benin Artifact Repatriation Campaign Organization. So this is a community that promote the intervention when we are talking about bring back our thing, bring back our gift, our cultural traditional gift. So he's based in Germany. However, they have coordinators all over the world when we talk about intervention in making peace, promoting our culture and values, in bringing back artifact to African country. So there you are welcome. I don't know if you want to say more thing about yourself.
Thank you very much. Alex, thank you for bringing us back again. You've done pretty well, especially during the time of our intense fight for the repatriation of the Benin artifacts there. You were really in the forefront, backing us and everything. So I'm happy we're back again now. All is about our people. My name remains Edo Michael Odel Anderson, president of BARCO. So we are back again. All is about our community, our country, and our race. So it's an opportunity today to talk about everything that concerns our people, useful and for everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, today is kind of let me say, educational program. When we talk about education, culture, tradition, politics, and also when we look at well-being, how we're looking after ourselves, when we look at the old, the now, and what we expect in the future. So I'm going to be asking you different questions in regard to this area. However, viewers will want to find out, what do we need to do? Do we need to speak our language in healthcare, or what is education? So now, if I'm going to ask you, the traditional education, when we have the teacher being the powerhouse to give you knowledge in whatever tools, whatever way, in whatever language, what do you think is traditional education in that approach?
Okay, if I may understand it quietly, traditional education Depends on how you look at it. If you want to look at the real traditional education, then you look back to before the invasion of the Benin Empire, which is 1897. Before then, our people were well educated. If you look at the structure of the Benin Kingdom, then some of them were stolen indirectly by the British and inculcated into their own democratic setup. Like you see today, you see Senate, you see House of Assembly, you see House of even in local in state level, you see council, all those stuff. These are the things that were already in existence before during the Benin Empire. We have the Uzamaneo, Isiemero, Olia, all these guys, all these area, they have area of command, Isiemero, what again? Uzebu. All these area they have their own contribution before Oba is the head, but they are all different houses. Like Uzamanio is indirectly the Senate of today. So all these guys were all educated in their own way. Like the artifacts we're talking about, the people that created artifacts. I think I remember the one of presentation I did here in Hubble Museum in Berlin, which is the biggest in Hamburg, Germany. I was invited there then to do a presentation. I make it clear to them that these guys were all educated in their own way. That is why they were able to record our history in the Benin artifacts, because every event that happened in Benin were recorded in artifacts. Every war that were fought then, every marriages, type of marriages, all these things were all recorded in artifacts, because these men were educated in their own way, that traditional education. So
Wow.
if you are talking of the old education, which the British, the colonial masters brought to us, which you mentioned before, that empower the teachers to make strong decisions and control the narratives. Indirectly, they, influence how we run our own daily lives. That it was okay. It has positive and negative side of the whole argument. But today, we are in a different world. We are in a different world. We are today dealing with technology. Now we are going to another space now, which you and I, Alex, we might not catch up. I don't know. This AI is coming up now. So AI is going to take over the whole thing. So this education we think is modern now is going to be outdated very soon. AI is going to take over everything. So what we are going to be doing now is going to be fighting to meet up with AI, to enter into a new education. So the education we thought we have now, social media anyway, new technology, social media, internet have taken over the old education. I remember at a time, Angelica Merkel, who was the Chancellor of Germany then, made it clear that time, I don't know if she was able to achieve it, that every child in Germany should be having access to one single laptop. Otherwise, we can't meet up. When I was doing my training, all this aviation masters I did here, most of them were done teaching by online. You see, so, but in our own society, it doesn't work like that because we don't have that capacity. We don't have stable light, and we can't afford that. How many of our children can afford to buy a laptop? So everything is changing. So
Okay.
traditional education, to me, Eric, I have to disappoint you. It's not going to work anymore. We have to move on.
All right. Now you mentioned one thing now that I'm going to tally back and forth again. You said that we now have to buy laptop. You also mentioned AI. So now let's look at when we used to have what we call slates, right? Slate educational platform where you had to take your slate home, bring it back, or you have shop where you write on. So now this time, I compare it to when we talk about objective-based answer and question, that you have the answer to the question, you write it down on slates without even having anything behind it because you have learned the value of that subject. So now, let me ask you a direct question. I look at that as a value-based education, based on what people culture, tradition is about, Many of them were learning in their own language. Then, to be able to cover up in terms of the community communication, marketing, relationship, and family values. Okay, why is it important that education and family value can come together in Edo State? When we look at, you are from Edo State, isn't it? Edo State in Nigeria. Okay. What do you think when we talk about the importance of our value and education as an Edo State citizen?
Okay. You just mentioned one thing. If you think about standard education, look at this word is no longer stagnated. The word evolves. As I said, that traditional system, it might be okay for our people in Edo State to learn, to move, to continue with that old system, but the world is now becoming smaller. The world itself is becoming smaller. So what I'm trying to say here is, if we stay with that system, we're not going to meet up with the world. Though people today are all over the world, and luckily some of us are doing well in all different professions, in all different categories. Why we are doing well? Because we expose ourselves to the new technology. We expose ourselves to the new education. If we want to, okay, let me go back again. There was a time, the former governor who just left, Obaseki, he invested so much on education. He wanted our people to a point. I don't know, I cannot really verify it, that he was even telling them to be learning how to speak like the Americans. But some people said it was bad. Some people said it was not bad. Or because I know his goal. His goal is not that the skill we are producing in Nigeria and in Benin there, we can absorb them, these skills here. These skills can be absorbed somewhere else in the world. I think the situation, the whole plan was that if a Benin man leave Benin and he comes to Germany, he don't have to be, he don't have to be ashamed or be afraid to present the certificate. If he's an electrician there, he can walk down here and say, I'm an electrician. This is my certificate. I attended Benin Technical School. And then German give him a test here. He pass it permanently well, perfectly well, and he get a job. And that will enable him to have a permanent stay here. Advantage number one. Then advantage number two, he will now build on that little one he brought for home, because here, once you already have that basic knowledge of a particular subject, Germany will now give you power to expand on it to the level whatever you want to be. So that is the second advantage. So what I'm saying is that we're not going to rely on that old education. It's old. Some of them are updated. That system is a bit updated, to be honest, because look at you. You are in UK. We are talking to each other now, as if we are living in one room. That is technology. You can bring somebody from Benin now. He will be talking with us here, and as if we are all sitting in one room. That is the new technology. We never had this when we were going to school during our days. We never had them. We never had this. I remember my time, my first 10 years in Germany here, or less anyway. If I want to call my family, they have to look for one person in that area that has a phone. Then they have to program like a week time. I will call. Sometimes if I call the telephone, we have called and greet them, the telephone cut off. I can't talk to them again. Then they have to program another thing for 1 or 2 months time. So, but we don't have that today. Now we have WhatsApp where we talk to each other every morning. So if we want to say we want to keep out to that old system, I am sorry, we will be backward from the world. We don't want it. Though people are all over the world. So we want to make sure our education meet up with the new education. I would love us to go with the new education, leave the old one apart, keep on with the new one. That is how the world goes. That is my opinion.
All right. Now, you mentioned something which is a bit conflicting. You said Obaseki was imposing American language based.
Not imposing, encouraging.
Okay. It was encouraging. Now, you also said something about someone who is having technical background education coming to Germany to get maybe opportunity of migrating in terms of job when we talk about diplomacy and education. Okay, now German they doesn't speak English in regard to their, is the official language, English official language in Germany?
No, no. German is their official language.
German is an official language.
Yeah.
All right, I got you there. I'm not disagreeing to what you are saying, but I want you to help us now. When we talk about value of education, education doesn't have value if it doesn't connect to culture. Do you agree with me?
100. I agree to it. Yeah, I agree to that. Yeah.
All right, that's first one. The second part is that I appreciate Germany, I appreciate France, I appreciate Italy when we talk about this language. When we look at Edo State, for example, right? I'm not talking about Nigeria. I'm talking about Edo State because when we go back to 1897, this was a state that was having their own power in terms of structure of education, economy, and security, right? You agree with me?
100%.
So now we have chances and opportunity because we live in democracy, isn't it? So when it comes to this education, do you agree with me that our own language and our culture is very important when it comes to education?
I can't agree less.
Okay, now
because
you can't agree less.
No.
Let's leave that question. The direct question is, I just construct the question before you answer this. Are we currently educating our children according to these values?
I would say no. Why am I saying no? Okay, we put it this way. You know, there is a confusion along the line. After the invasion, the Edo people, who was an empire, was incorporated into a country, Nigeria. So that means all our practices, all existing whatever mechanism that was in place was interrupted. So it kind of eliminated. So if we say we want to keep on doing that, it's not going to work perfectly well, in the sense that there are other tribes in the state. I remember at a point where we were doing that BARCO, struggle then, we were, still fighting to make sure Edo language, which is Benin language, is introduced back into our educational system in Edo State. I'm not going to call a name here. So there were people who said, no, why will Benin dominate us? We have other tribes that no, Benin can't happen. So these are elements that are, stopping Benin to be used in schools, because we have other tribes who are saying Benin, they are dominating us. They are not better than us, this and that. So politically, at the moment, Benin as people, we're not doing well politically anyway. So the voice is difficult to defend. That is one side. Another one again is that we are now, this is Nigeria now. If you look at the population of Edo people, that is the Beninese in general, the Beninese, we're not many anymore because we travel a lot. We all left, and we left a vacuum behind. And this vacuum were filled by non-Edo speaking people, which make it now difficult for us to keep on to using Benin language in our educational system. I'm not trying to say it's not doable. It's doable if we encourage our people to be speaking Benin. I think I will refer back to Obaseki. He tried then. And I believe this new government now will equally do the same to encourage our people to be speaking Benin language. But per se, that we are going to be educating our people through Benin language, unless, my friend, I think it's not going to work. Again, the only thing we are trying to do, we are suggesting, is that let it be part of the subject to be taught, and the parents to do their job, because most parents are no longer speaking Benin language to their children. So we make it difficult for the teachers, because the teachers, a certain percentage of the teachers are not Benin speaking teachers. So they have no idea. And Benin language at the moment is no longer a written language, it's a spoken language. So to teach the language is a bit difficult. And to put our educational system tied to it is becoming problematic. I think that is it.
I think you have painted it very well, because we are talking about Edo State, right? Because I'm not saying Edo State is Nigeria. Edo State is in Nigeria. However, this community has paid their price. They paid their way through different resilience in terms of integration from the British regime or whatever that was on ground. So now, you have made some point in regard to 1897. Let's assuming you have the best governor today, right, who are able to promote the 4 languages that is spoken in Edo, right, which can promote their value. Because when I'm talking about values now, we're talking about the culture, attitude, right, the behavior, and the benefit, which I'm not going to mention. I'm going to ask you direct questions. I don't want to mention it. If you mention it, that's fine. What do you think about this invasion when we look at after 1897 British invasion? How would you describe our value-based education today compared to what we had before?
Anything invasion is catastrophic. In that invasion did not do us any good in one way or the other. So if we want to dwell on that invasion, we go nowhere, because we will come out with pains and sorrow. So, because to my understanding, before the invasion, the Benin's were already adopting into the modern system of governing, because it was a country of its own. So a lot of people were already coming here, coming there, and coming here. They were already ambassadors somewhere, to my understanding. So the structure were already going on, and some of the chiefs were already getting educated. Some of them were already speaking Portuguese, some were already speaking this and that. So there was already a plan for the Benin to move on. The empires then, that function as a country then, which is the Japanese, Iran, all these guys, they survived it today as a country. So our own, no, their country was completely destroyed, and the chance was not given to it to recover, even till today, to the extent that the king, who was the head of state of that country, is now today only playing adversary role to the government. So it is difficult for him to push forward to say, oh, I want my language now to be used in school, I want this, I want that. He doesn't have that power. This is where the whole thing becomes messy. So the only thing that we will do in this aspect, my only advice is this: let the elders continue to speak and encourage the families of Edo people, the Benin people, not only Benin alone, Ishan, Ora, all different tribes in Benin, in Edo State. They should be speaking their local language to their own families, to their children, because it's not only about Benin. I don't see any reason why Ishan should not be taught in the school. I see no reason why Afemai should not be taught. Akoko Edo, Benin, Ika, all these languages should have a place in our educational system, so that when children grow up, even though he's speaking English, then he will still have his mother tongue. You understand what I mean? So
you are 100%
if
right.
this thing is not done, our language is going to die. Remember, as a language is dying, our culture follows. And our culture dies, our value follows. Yeah.
That's it. So now, before we go into the political question and maybe dive into the health care part of it, let's go for a break, 1 minute break. Just hang on, 1 minute break. Viewers, we're going to go for 1 minute break and then we'll come back. 1 minute. Hello, viewers. Thank you for coming back again. And welcome, Sir Anderson Odel, the president of BARCO, Benin Artifact Repatriation Campaign Organization. So now, sir, I know you were saying something about different culture, tribe, in terms of languages and incorporated into education, which you said it might not be possible. However, from the beginning, you talk about leadership, because Obaseki tried by bringing in the German language to the community, which was really good. However, when it comes to education and diplomacy, right? What kind of leader are you expecting so that this language we are talking about that is going down the drain, yeah? Maybe in general, what kind of leader are you expecting in Edo State? When we look at our political leaders' expectation, as a citizen, what kind of education level you expect them? Is it level 1, level 2? What kind of subject you think they should have before they can lead Edo State?
Okay, let me just correct things there. I think you made mistake there. Basically bringing German language. No, basically try to encourage them to get a standard American type of English. So I just want to correct that there. Look, in terms of leadership, I remember when Obasanjo took over as a president of Nigeria. Then I watched one of his interviews. After the interview, those analyses that were there, one of them said, the president said, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do that. I said, how can he do it? Then someone else said, do you know one person can make a difference? So that is it. One person can make a difference. A governor there at the moment, he has to, it's not just, I want to become governor. He has to have a plan for Edo people. He has to know the area he wants to go. But nonetheless, there is nobody that will govern Edo State and be successful without giving Edo people, I'm talking of Edo State now in general, without giving Edo State the best standard of education. Because Edo people are vibrant today because of education. We go at every part of the world, any part of the world. When we get there, nobody had us. Because, you remember, let me tell you one thing. Edo people, if you go and check our population, it's a very tiny population. But look at us in the world. We are vibrant. We are everywhere in the world. Because we know who we are. Remember, we're not businessmen. That is why you see Edo today, there is no business there. There is no factory there. There is no industries there. The best millionaires in Nigeria, billionaires in Nigeria, they are not there. But selectively, we are very, very vibrant in our own way. Despite the fact that destruction of the kingdom affect us badly, it put us backward, which today we've not been able to recover. I think before we recover from that shock, it's going to be like 500 years. And we are now 128 or 30 years since that destruction. So it's going to take us like 500.
The British invasion. You mean
yeah, after the invasion, yeah. So it's going to take us like 500 years if ever we will recover. So that is it. What I'm trying to say is that what I expect the government in power at the moment, the governor there at the moment is His Excellency Governor Monday Okpebholo, is for him to invest more in education. If he invests more in education, our education system, remember when Ogbamudia was there, Ogbamudia was not well educated like that, but he took education in a very, very value manner. So everybody enjoyed it. Then we now got a professor who improved on it, Professor Ambrose Ali. He improved on that education. Then education was spread. That is why you see a Benin person today, even though he's not educated, he can read and write and he can speak perfect English. And then, though the language he died, that has nothing to do with Ali. The language that got to do with Edo people themselves who decided to abandon their own language. So, though you don't judge intelligence with language, but we need this language in order to keep our values going. So what I will encourage Edo people, any government that is there, is somebody is there now, which is to improve, invest more in education. If we have education, we wouldn't have any problem. We can go and work in anywhere because presently, not presently, for the past 50 years, there is no industry in Edo State. There is no single one. So we survive by our own intelligence, by the little education we have. We move around the world to bring something to the family and to the people to eat. So if that education is no longer up to standard, we will have a problem. For me, I want a situation where somebody will say, I am a plumber in Benin, and then he will go to UK and prove himself without doubt. So when somebody will say, I'm a carpenter, he will go to France and prove it from Edo State and prove it that he's a carpenter he's a carpenter. That is
you saying that. You say that. That means you want a leader who is having evidence-based education. We'll talk about culture and diplomacy.
For sure. Sure.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take you back again. Let's assuming you are young now. Your 20s, right? Yeah, we are in your time when you were in 20s. And the education, the medical department were there, right? Were you happy? Do you think people were happy then when you were in your 20s to 30s?
Yeah. People were happy, people were not happy. If people were not happy, I wouldn't have left Nigeria. I left Nigeria over 30 years ago. And I wasn't alone. Let me tell you, the problem we have as Edo people, we are too disadvantaged in Nigeria project. We're so marginalized in Nigeria project. I am not that kind of a person that sing victims. But in a way, we are victims. We are victims of the fact that people give us bad names. If anybody commit crime in the country, it can just be a normal crime. But if a Edo person is involved, it's Edo people, these Benin boys. That is how we left the country. Everything was about Benin boys. Nobody trusts us. Nobody want to do anything with us. And we're a small tribe. We don't have big people in the Nigeria project.
What about healthcare system? The healthcare system.
Before I left Nigeria, at that time, the healthcare system was okay. But at a point, it's a bit too expensive for our poor people. Okay, look at the Benin that time. We have UBTH, which was a big hospital. We have specialist hospital, which was a big hospital. These were the only two big hospitals in Benin, all of Benin. And then thereafter, we now have Benoni Hospital in reservation side. Then we have St. Philomena. I think that one was around or whatever. So that was in Benin City. In villages, no. So therefore, if somebody is sick in the village, people have to go and shut up vehicle to rush the person to either to Abudu or to Igbobazuwa or to Benin. And in most cases, before this person get there, before they gather money, whatever, the person will die. Remember, our people don't have medical history because even I think today is still the same. People don't go to hospital for checkup. They go to hospital when they are really dying. And they get to hospital, some of them can't speak anymore. The doctor don't have their medical history. And the doctor will now be asking, what was his problem? Did he complain of stomach before? Did he complain of head before? So all these things are always been there. And it's still there till today. So if we say our medical system is working, it's working for those who can afford it. It's not working for the general people.
What about the language? Let's bring in the language now. You know, we used to have our midwifery. If you want to give birth, if you have is it traditionalists or whatever, we used to. Can you explain that a little bit? Do you think they were better then, or
yes,
are we better not having them?
They were good. That we don't have them now is a disaster. Why do I say so? When I was growing up, I was born in the village. I wasn't born in Benin City. Though I grew up in Benin, but I was born in the village. We have our senior sister that was a specialist in terms of what the German call Hibame here, which is kind of midwifery. We call it Hibame here. Yeah. That means once a woman is pregnant, they will now be visiting somebody who will take care of that pregnancy, who maintain that pregnancy.
Ayurvedic system of healthcare, yeah.
That was our traditional way. We take come from all the time we were functioning as an empire or as a kingdom. So they were in every village, not even every village, every family you have one. It is being passed over and over to different generations. So when this person is pregnant, then it will go to Iyenokwa, as is our grandmom, or what you call them. That person will now be giving them all traditional medicine and be massaging that, be monitoring that child. So when the child is born, they will now be, that woman will now be coming there to be bathing the baby, stressing the hands. I remember when my son was born, because when my son was born, I wasn't married to my wife, so she has a 5 years to stay in Germany. So when she was pregnant, the German government authority here, not government, the authority here now said she should go back to England and have the baby. And I said, no, the child is my child. So therefore she cannot go. So they now come to agreement that they can only take care of the child as my child when the child is born. From the second is born, then the German will take over. Before then, it belonged to England that they will not take care. So we now agree that I should take the cost of the birth. So when my wife was, my lady was was in labor, we took her to the hospital. She delivered my son on a private cost. So because I don't have enough money, and then she delivered, there was no complications. She spent only 1 day in the hospital. We brought her home. So, but the authority now said, we will give you Hibabe, a midwifery that will come to the house to take care of her. So this person came the first day. She saw me massaging my child, bathing my child in our own traditional way. She just sat and watched me the whole time. And she won't say anything. She said, since you've done it, I will come tomorrow. The next day she came, I repeated it. She said, where did you train? I said, what do you mean? He said, where did you train for all these things? I said, no, it's our tradition. She said, no wonder Black people are beautiful.
Wow.
She said, where is the tradition? I explained to her the tradition. She said, my God, you are better than me. She said, this is my last day here. She's supposed to come for 2 weeks. She said, I'm not coming again. I'm going to give a report. You are better than me. I'm not coming again. So that is how she left. So all these things I learned there from my parents, because my mother has had children about 12 times. So I was the third child. So I knew how all this, the process. So I knew how it goes. I still have them in my head today. So that thing is very, very painful. That is no longer in existence till today.
All right. Thank you so much. With that answer, that means you agree that when we talk about evidence-based education, language is very important, culture is very important, and also the next question, which we tally to what you have said, can language and culture contribute to better healthcare and people-centered treatments?
If you ask me this question when I was still at home 30 years ago plus, I would say yes. But now, the language don't really matter so much. Why? Because the people who are supposed to be doing it today are more educated than those who were doing those programs that time. Those are our mothers who were doing those programs that time. They used to use our local language. Indirectly, those people can communicate with the tradition. They can communicate with the trees. They can communicate with leaves. They can communicate with everything with that local language. So that time, they can read and write. They make references. But today, we have people who can read and write, who could have been able to document all those things, and language will not be the biggest problems. The language alone will only make it to be with feelings. That is, whatever you are doing, you do it with feelings. If I'm going to talk to, maybe I'm in front of a big tree now, I need something from that tree. I can't speak English in my tradition. I have to speak Benin. You understand? Because to me, that is the feelings. For me, And we have this feeling that this language will go deep into the tradition, into this what I need from this tree, than speaking language. It's like now, for example, whenever I'm in Nigeria, I meet my family. I mean the general family in the meeting. I won't speak English. I speak my local language to them because these are old men. These are old men, old women. So that I get the feelings when they are even talking, if they are praying for me, because they all pray for me all the time. If they pray for me, if they use my language, it goes deep into my heart. So it's a matter of feelings. But it wouldn't have stopped anybody who want to do this traditional midwifery or not. Language would not have stopped anything, to be honest.
All right. Okay, now, thank you very much. Before the last question, which is very important, but I'm going to throw a stone. I know you have glass house, me, I have glass house. So I want you to help me to hold this stone very well so that I don't want my glass house to be broken. So now we have Monday Okpewolo as the governor of Edo State right now, right? So now, majority of people on social media think he's not qualified because of he doesn't speak English very well. Now, you have mentioned many things, character in regard to healthcare, tradition, development. You also agree the importance of diplomacy and education in our community, right? Do you think, or do you have any expectation from this government now in regard to Monday Okpewolo?
With due respect, I like Okpewolo because he's a traditional man. English mean nothing to me. English mean nothing. If he cannot speak English, that really mean nothing. What matters about him is leadership. So far, so good, he hasn't showed that leadership. So anybody, as I said, we've passed through that stage now where everything has to be like, how will I say it, like a manual system of government. No, the world today is so advanced, and we want to meet up with the world. That is what I said before, that we're not moving from our normal regular education. We're going to AI. So if anybody listen, those states have produced the finest people in the world. Look, me here, I work in one of the best company in the world. I work in Airbus A380 aircraft. I was a team that produced aeroplane. Today, I'm a team that produces helicopter engines. I'm a Benin man. I should be very proud of it. If you look, there's one of 7 girls who is in America who helped them to produce drones. So Benin has gone a long way. During time, Bill Clinton had a problem when somebody wanted to go there and kill them. The medical doctor, something Okoje, is an Asian man. He attended a University of Benin. So we produce people. We want people who is governing Edo to be vibrant. In due respect, Monday is not vibrant enough, but that is not enough to judge his leadership. You have to judge the government with the people he put in power. Presently, academics are lagging in his government. Look at the people running Edo government at the moment. I don't want to call names as I promised you before, but if you see people who hijack his government, you will be disappointed. This is the habit of the nation. Benin, we are more than this. Edo people, we are more than this. Monday should go back, nothing too late. He's still the governor now until court decide otherwise. Remember his rival, Answe Igodalo, he's still challenging him in court. But should he get that mandate and continue as a governor, I believe that is what is disturbing anyway. At the moment, he can't really make a choice of his own. I'm only assuming, arguably, I could be right or wrong, but if after he's been the court judgment and is now the governor of got the mandate to become the governor, to continue as a governor, I think that man should upgrade. He should reshuffle. It's the personal advice. He should reshuffle his government, put elite there, put intelligent people there. He doesn't need to speak grammar. He doesn't need to speak. He can even speak Ishan or speak Bini, speak whatever he like. I don't care. He should put the right people there to do the job for him. That is what leadership is all about.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to thank you again for coming. And I want to also say congratulations. You are the first person to run our 60 minutes question. So now you
Thank you.
actually have 9 minutes left because we just nearly put up the program. So now I want to use 5 minutes from the 9 minutes left to bring a different perspective to your own community. Now let's talk about BARCO. BARCO involved in the artifact that brought about the president being aware of what's happening in Germany. BARCO also involved in engaging in diplomats in Germany behind closed door. Why were you doing it closed door and you didn't make sure that the whole world understood what you were doing in regard to BARCO? And maybe the viewers will understand the picture of BARCO if you want to explain better.
In that BARCO, why I got involved, and a lot of people joined me, and we were all over the world. We are represented all over the world. The reason why I did it was that, let me tell you my personal interest. Just a little story about me. I am from Ubugo, Orion local government. Today is now called Ewobanohe. That is where I was born. My family there, we are the Okao family. Our story is that Obaohe was our father. So we have the same father with Obaewari the first. But what happened is that our father and his sister were born in a farm belonged to Ugoni Yekorion. So when that was it, because there was a trouble that drove Obaohe out of the palace. He ran there and he took refuge there. So while he was there, he had these two children there. So when he came back, the Orion people, they helped him to go back again to become the Oba of Benin. So when he became the Oba, the palace, I'm writing the story now anyway, the history of my family, I haven't finished. So when he became the Oba, before he became the Oba, the decision was taken. There was an argument about what's going to happen to his son called Ogiza, which is our father. So at the end, the people in the palace now decided that since those children were born outside the palace, they will not allow them to come to the palace and take a rightful position as a son of the Oba of Benin. So instead, we were made to become Okao in Orion. When I was born, growing up, they used to call us Obiobani Yekorion. If you still go there today, that is what we know for. Obiobani Yekorion. So that is the interest I had. When I came in here, at a point I forgot my license at home. I think that was 1997 or 98, somewhere like that, in one village called Eisleben, where Martin Luther was born. So I was driving that, I was not having license. Police stopped me and they told me to go and bring my license, or I pay before 6 o'clock. So I rushed home, I took my license, I went to the police station. So when I was there, I saw the picture of Benin artifacts hanging on their wall. So I told them, this thing was taken from my palace. They said, where is your palace? I told them, the Oba of Benin, from Benin. Oh, they said, are you sure? I said, 100, I'm sure, 100%. I said, if opportunity is given to me, we will fight to bring this thing home. So that was when I came into Hamburg here, I saw the opportunity and I have contact with the lady that was fighting for it, Professor Barbara, that was leading the game that time. So I quickly get involved. Met the lady, and opportunity was given to me because they were happy that there are Beninese who are actually from the place where this thing was taken away from. So I just want that thing to go home, and then in the process, and I develop interest that this thing will now bring tourism to my people. So let me, if this is all I can give to my Edo people, let me give it to my Edo people. But unfortunately, people interpret it in Benin that it was a way of me making money. I want to make money for myself. Sometimes some said I was.
I wanted to ask you one question to connect that what you're about to say now. During that time, I know you spent lots of money, right?
Yes.
I know you were in back door. You didn't bring yourself out. You spend lots of money. Now, were you given any money by the Oba of Benin or the governor regard to doing all that?
No. They refused me to see the Oba of Benin. I went to the palace 6 good times. The people that were there that time, the secretary and the lawyer that was representing in between us that time, the palace that time, traditional council, they refused me to see the Oba. So I couldn't have get anything from the Oba since I did not see him. On the side of Governor Baseki, so I requested to see him, and then he wrote me. I still have the letter. He wrote me here that yes, that I should call his. I don't know who said I should call him. Letter is here that they will fix a time for me to see him. So when I got to Benin, we had a meeting at Palm Royal Hotel in Benin. So the decision was taken that there is no way I should go to Obaseki without seeing the Oba. That is not a good thing. And I reason it as well. This is my father, is the Oba of Benin. He is the center of the whole artifacts. So why should I meet the governor first without meeting the Oba? So I did not meet Obaseki. I only met Obaseki when he came to Hamburg, Germany here, and we only greet and hug each other. We promised to see again, and we never see. So I never had any more. All the money I spent it from my own purse, right? And all the energy, all the presentation, the demonstration we did, everything was from my purse. I did it as a way of helping my Edo people. I just wanted the voice to be heard. And I tried. Even Dr. Gordon, who brought the little one that were brought to Benin, that was in Benin, when he saw me here about 2 years ago, he ran like a child to embrace me. Say, you are Mr. Odel. Say, yeah, Mr. Odel. Say, you are a fighter. I said, yes. So we saw the whole thing.
The former governor called you a fighter.
No. You mean Governor Baseki?
He called you a fighter, that you are a fighter.
No, I don't know about that. The person that called me a fighter is the man, he's called Dr. Gogan. He is the German representative that brought the artifacts to Benin. He was in Benin as well. He went to the palace. So I did not discuss about the artifacts now with Obaseki direct, no. Because I refused to meet him because I wanted to meet the palace. But the people in the palace, they refused me to meet the Oba. So I don't
think the Oba of Benin will refuse someone like you, because I know very well, based on my own being a Edo citizen, right? I know people like you are one of the people that have been working hard in the Edo community. I just said now, you've been behind closed door doing your BARCO activity. You've never done it in the front line. However, your work led to the governor able to visit Germany. Okay, if it's not your work, why didn't they visit the UK? Why didn't they visit the Canada? Why didn't they visit America?
Correct.
So I know what's going on in the community. I want to just appeal to you, if you can continue that resilience, because we need support in the UK, we need support in Canada, we also need support back in Germany, because if you can do it in Germany, you can take the same group of people you use in Germany to do it in the UK, because we have Kemi right now who doesn't really understand the value of education and diplomacy, right? So people like you should be in front line so that we could be able to have communication, maybe talk with the leaders. It's not just German government that you should be engaging with. You should engage with the global community. And I think that if we have the chance, Mondo Pewolo, we need someone like you to continue what you did before, because the old government did not value you. But your work were very valid. It's just that you didn't travel with your work. You only left
I can't say the old government did not value me. They invited me and I refused to meet them because I wanted to meet my Oba friend. Right. So I wouldn't say I was talking with it you had then. So what happened is that about Monday Okpebolo, I would love to work with Okpebolo or Monday Okpebolo, because this thing now is stuck here. Gemini is not talking to anybody. So what they do before, if anybody is coming to to Germany concerning Benin tradition, they will just come immediately and want me to be there. So at the moment, it's like they are now happy that we are no longer pursuing anything. We are no longer sure, because the people in Benin, they wouldn't know that we were the people forcing the German here that to do what they were doing. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in terms of the palace, they know me, I'm a pure Benin man. So if they want us to continue, because there is no way we will continue, I just want to be sincere. There is no way we will continue here if we're not having direct communication with the palace. It will feel that we are doing it as a just we want to. So, but we never wanted money from the palace. We never wanted it. We just wanted to make sure that palace know what we are doing, and we will be reporting to the palace. This is what we are doing. The remaining war, the remaining fight, we were ready to fight the fight.
So
Say it
in
again.
the next 1 year, do you have any programs, or we should wait for something to come up when we talk about
at the moment, I'm not having any program in the sense that number one, that of palace, I don't have interest to be going there again. And the governor side, Okpebolo are not being finally stable. I don't know whether the court will remove him, whether he will stay. So I want the person that will stay there now to be stable. Then we now go back again. We just want to have this connection back home, and then we resume our fight here. We are confrontational. We are fighters. I know how to handle them. They know me. Right. The people in the UK, they have not met me. Some of them have met me, some of them haven't. But they know my story. They know my name. Right. So we know how to get our things, these artifacts, because we don't reap the benefit of these artifacts at all.
I think you might use the word we. I know you know how to get your thing. No? That's why we were able to get to Germany.
Because BARCO is an organization.
All right.
So
that's true.
What I'm trying to say is that the benefit of the artifacts, my people, Edo people, have not reaped it at all.
Yeah.
We wanted a situation. I remember the one time I had a meeting. Time is cutting short. Let me just say it quickly. I had a meeting with now the present foreign minister of Nigeria, Dr. Tuga, and some other German here in Berlin. So the plan then was for the Germans to be bringing people to Benin to train, and then our people will come here in Germany to train. We wanted to be doing this interaction. All these things now eyes blocked. So we were doing all these things. I was there, my brother, and these people were happy seeing me there. But at the end of the day, it's like, who are you representing? The governor's side were not forthcoming. The palace side were not forthcoming. And another problem was that the people in the palace, according to what I heard, that they said I was working for Obaseki, and people in Obaseki said I was working for the Oba, so I was caught in the middle. So that is what happened.
Anyway,
so I just pray Okpawolo government, if he stay there, or whoever that is there, in the next 6 months, we will be able to know, and then we will see whether we will start fighting for the artifacts again or not.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time. And thank you, apart from supporting us to understand the importance of education and diplomacy, you also let us know who you are, that we're going to knock at your door. You didn't throw any stone to glass house. I was observing your talk, so you didn't throw any stone. So we're going to knock at your door so that you can keep helping us. Obviously, we understand how challenging it is. You have your own job, you have your family. At the same time, you are just giving back to society. That is what you did. That's what I'm doing. You were not sponsored to do it. You didn't collect money from the government. You didn't collect money from the Oba of Benin. It was your own money that you spent in doing it. Thank you so much, Sir Anderson Michael Odel. BARCO.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And to all my do people, Oba Atokpe.
Thank you, sir. Hello, viewers. Thank you for your time. And again, we're going to come back again next Sunday at 6 p.m. We're going to be on Alex Lifestyle and Culture every Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next Saturday. Bye-bye for now.